Many people forget that most cows have horns. They are removed when the cow is young. Today, many people associate Taurus with the bull, but it may be equally appropriate to think of the Venus-ruled feminine sign as a cow, especially a cow nestled in the meadow, or a cow with a calf, giving protection, love, growth, and nurturing. This is one reason why the moon is exalted here, where the supply of love and growth is nearly limitless. A Taurus is blessed, that's true. Sensuality is heightened, and pleasure itself is innocent and supported by the universe. Taurus is also the most earthy of the earth signs, and is at home among the trees, and all the greenery that is loved by cows and loved by Venus. A Taurus usually loves good dinners, and so do cattle, so much so that they bring up their food to re-chew it 2 or 3 times. They even have stomachs with 4 compartments. Taurus is usually calm and steady, reliable, mellow, and trustworthy. They act as stabilizers in our lives, and they tend to attract people who are stable and grounded. Taurus can also be the pack horse, or a mule loaded with bags and supplies. They can get fixated on money, but the goal isn't money itself. The goal is saving a lot of resources, storing wealth, so they can never fail to nourish themselves and the people around them. They aren't likely to say a phrase like, "The Lord will provide." That's more the words of a Sagittarian. Storage behaviors are heightened, which at the extreme end can be clutter, hoarding, or miserly ways. But overall, they are practical and at home in the physical, the material world. They might pursue Venus-style collections, artwork, paintings, flowers, and plant life, gardens. But it might also be resource collections, water bottles, cups, and buckets, bins, boxes, and luggage. Taurus in the body is the mouth, the jaw, and especially the neck, but also the ears, mouth, teeth, tongue, and the top of the back, where we keep our own backpack and carry our resources. Just as they focus on food and the mouth, they can also make speeches, pass on orally transmitted knowledge, and give energy to memories and memory banks, libraries, database, and history archives. These are all technically second house terms, but they will be more prominent to a person who has more planets in Taurus. They often focus on their savings and on getting prizes or having a treasure chest. They might make inventories and lists of possessions. They can be stubborn, which recalls the bull, maybe set in their ways, and even unmovable or just plain hard. At times they can be a bit of a bull in a china shop, which is a good analogy, because they are drawn to fine dishes and kitchenwares, and also to jewelry and nice clothing against the skin. The second house, Taurus, is the second shell of the person, the second layer of being. So as such, they like to hold animals. They often love kittens and puppies, or a rabbit or a goat, the soft side of life. Mars doesn't do so well in Taurus, and if it's described as a weak Mars, it doesn't mean the person is weak. It means there is less efficiency for Mars. And because of that, sometimes more damage is done. Damage done by the person or visited on the person. But that Mars can still be persistent and resourceful. Another symbol is oxen, carrying the load, shouldering the burden, and tearing up the earth in order to grow those plants and the food that fills our tables. At one time, a family's ox was the primary resource. It's the resource that leads to more resources. The ox is the generator. Venus grants Taurus an emphasis on good times and delights, but excess can have drawbacks. Too much pleasure can be the undoing of a Taurus, and it's best to remember that in this same sign is the fixed star Algol, the head of Medusa, which teaches us that we can lose our head if we aren't careful. Our physical reality can be severed from our earth connection, and our mind can be taken away with misplaced aggression, jealousy, ambition, or greed. Also, ecstasy can cause us to lose touch with reality. Again, the neck and the throat are emphasized. Taurus is that part of the body responsible for the voice, and this means singing and songwriting, but also authorship and writers and poets. Gemini is often a writer, adept at informational writing or relating a good story. But it's Taurus where writers develop their own voice and their own style. This strength makes them brave in speaking truth to power, especially around values. They can give voice to what we collectively value in our world. And they are sometimes the passionate champions of resources and the environment. A Taurus often can't let go. They hold on. They preserve and they persevere. Whether it's money or valuables or memorabilia, or it's their own plans and goals, they keep it all like that pack horse and carry it as long as they can. A concentration in Taurus can make a person so earthy, so practical and sensible, that they might choose to not pursue a traditionally spiritual life. They might find that the higher world for them is right there in the trees and plants around them. They're also much less likely to seek advice from an astrologer. But they do have to be careful of getting stuck in a rut, a place where routines and acquiring resources keeps them from learning other lessons in life. The sign of higher teachings and life philosophy is Sagittarius, which can sometimes be a blind spot to a Taurus. But their strengths are many, and they contribute much to family life, and they contribute to the personal village around them. In the entire zodiac, they are the link to the earth, more so than any other sign. We often say it takes a village to raise a child, but really it just takes one good Taurus.